Everyone get out!
Greetings, programs! Welcome back to Crusader Kings 2. It has been a while. It has definitely been a while. And in the intervening time, something a bit strange has happened. Now, as you may or may not remember, England it weathered the Norman invasion, and the Godwin dynasty, the Saxon Godwin dynasty, remained in charge. However, yeah, the characters are the same, but House Caption guy? Really? What? I don't even know. I mean, obviously we know who the culprit is, but oh, them hacks, man. Well, okay then. I mean, England was already a problem, but now they're really gonna have it in for me, I guess. Yeah, GG. Well played, Caption guy. Seriously, what the hell? Oh, I don't even know. Right. Anyway, as for Scotland itself, well, young King Yoda, the McJedi dynasty, just it is hanging on a slender thread at the moment. Young King Yoda has a half sister of a different dynasty, so she's no use. Basically, we need to get him of age, and we need to get him married, and we need him to produce some heirs to, basically secure the Mac Jedis for the future. And as far as securing Scotland, well, there is room for some territorial expansion. As you can see, my efforts to fabricate a claim in Ulster continue apace, and hopefully I can take the whole of Ulster, and maybe even the whole of Ireland. And yeah, I know, beating up Ireland, it's historically it was England that went across, so if it's Scotland this time, that makes it so much better, right? There's also de jure claims on Caithness. I think we could potentially get Orkney and the Shetlands as well, but that would at this stage mean taking on Norway, and Norway's not the strongest kingdom, but they could probably kick my ass fairly easily. So at the moment we are just concentrating on Ireland. That's a far distant goal, and obviously we've got these two lonely counties here as well, but I'm in truce with both of those for at least a good couple of years yet. The Isle of Man, I think it's like another 7 years, and it's something like 10 years with the Earl of Carrick. So we will have those two counties as well at some point, but it might take a little while. So for now, I'm just going to unpause it. We're just going to run the game forward, and I will dip back in if anything interesting happens, like House Caption guy declaring war or something. Oh, I don't even know. Well, we haven't gone very far, but yeah, there have been developments. The open elective succession faction has apparently managed to get itself another backer. So that's two of my dukes, basically. At the moment, we've got a tanistry going, and that means that any of my dynasty, if there were more members of my dynasty, could be elected, provided they're male. However, open elective means that members of your dynasty can still be elected, but you may well end up losing the kingdom title to one of the basically, if one of your dukes or whatever, one of your top level vassals manages to persuade enough other vassals to vote for them, they can then become king. So there's a chance that you can then become king after that, but you've effectively lost control of the country, even though you've still got control of your own holdings. So yeah, they could challenge me on the field of battle, and that could be nasty. My own military situation is not terrible. I've got 500 levies and maybe 2,000 troops that I can raise right now, but they can raise maybe 3,000. So yeah, we'll see. The other thing that I'm going to do, which we'll actually have a look at the event chain, the possible pop-ups that you can get, is we're going to hold a summer fair, because there are certain kingdom events you can do, like hold summer fairs, hold tournaments, that kind of thing, that can have minor positive or negative effects on your country, on other characters. So we'll just let that run through and see how it works out. But yeah, this open elective, I mean, it's not the end of the dynasty by any means, but it does potentially mean losing control of the country, and you end up having to work harder at basically keeping your vassals on side, keeping your vassals sweet. Oh dear, yeah, here we go. Yeah, now, either we say yes and agree, or else we say no, and basically we have a bit of a civil war. Now, is anyone actually going to stick on my side? The Duke of Albany probably will do. And it's what? Oh no, wait, the Duke of Albany is potentially going to go... Oh, he's in the faction, oh dear. But he's my most staunch... Oh, I don't even know. So, that leaves me with, what, the Duke of Lothian. And I think that's it. Yes, all my direct vassals as well, all my counts and barons, but... Oh, I don't know. I could either give in, or I could say no and fight it out and potentially lose and have to give in anyway. Honestly, I think it's almost worth... we'll see how it goes. Oh, yeah, there we go. Civil War. Okay, right, let's get those troops north. Let's raise... oh god, it's not worth that. Let's not raise those guys, because they're just going to get ruffle stomped. And I might actually... Let's see, that's about 2,000 troops. Do I have enough to hire some mercenaries? Because I've got a bit of gold at the moment. Maybe 800. Are they could be hired? Monthly cost 10 gold. Get another 1,800 mercenaries. Yeah, let's pull my troops together. Let's see what their total numbers are like. The main problem with I mean, Lothian has stayed loyal, but this is my country it's been cut in half right now. Fortunately, although Albany's a fairly powerful duke within the kingdom, the leader of the rebellion is the Duke of Moray, and he's only got one holding, so I would just basically need to take and siege that one holding to have quite a major advantage. But that's 20 odd hundred, he's got another 1,600, so that's approaching 4,000 troops. That's not so good. And I've got another 400 I could try and raise, but they're in Gowrie, and I can't, you know, get them safely north, basically. Although I could try, I guess. I mean, it's worth a go. If I can march them through Athol, because they've only got 88. You know, if they encountered those guys, fine, but if other guys march in. So we'll consolidate those armies, and... no, these guys are marching north to Moray. Okay, let's actually put those 2,000 guys in Moray, and let's... I gotta consider my financial situation quite carefully, actually, because it's 75 gold just to hire the guys, and then it's like nearly 10 gold a month. So I can only actually have them for a couple of months before I run out. Although, I do have the opportunity to. This came in with the Sons of Abraham expansion pack. You can now go and borrow money, basically. But yeah, I will then need to pay that back. I don't know if you accrue interest. I think you just have to pay back a flat amount. And I get a negative hit from my church vassals. But you know what? We're going to do it. And it's going to take a while to pay that back. But I want to stay in charge, damn it. So we'll hire the 1,800 mercenaries. We'll march them into Ross. And probably... I'm not going to get these 450 men out in time. But you never know. Also, my generals are apparently all terrible. Why have I got such terrible people in charge of my armies? Let's not have such terrible people in charge. That's a recipe for disaster. Right, they've managed to get through there all right. Right, they're going to link up with my armies there. So I have managed to successfully get those guys. And they are sieging down there. So that leaves this Moray army alone. All this while we're still having a summer fair up in the Western Isles. And apparently we had absolutely no pop-ups. You usually get at least a couple of pop-ups in between that give you various events, but not this time. This time we just basically had the start and end pop-up. So there was none of the in-between stuff that could potentially... well, so much for that plan. I just wasted 20 gold on that for no real reason. So we're losing about as much as we were making previously, but that's not too bad. Also, their armies aren't going to immediately... these armies aren't going to immediately be coming to support those guys. They'll have to march through Fife first. So there's no possibility of immediate backup. We'll actually get this army in here as well, and then we'll just go and siege Buchan and play it by ear from there, I guess. I might siege Buchan and then send this army into Athol. So how's this fight going? It's a bit harder to tell with... I read quite an interesting, I think it was a blog article, but somebody saying that, you know, complexity in games is not necessarily a bad thing, but complexity for complexity's sake can sometimes be, you know, unhelpful. And the specific example they used was the battle system in Crusader Kings in EU4, where they have a lot of dice rolls and a lot of, like, you look at the screen and there's a lot of stuff going on that's basically got nothing to do with you. It's beyond your direct control. So then we beat them fairly convincingly, and I've captured some guy of absolutely no consequence whatsoever. So yeah, let's siege Buchan, and we'll have this army sieging Athol, and that'll basically will be my reserve. That if these guys come north, we'll tackle them. So we'll actually speed things up a bit, and hopefully this siege will go reasonably fast. Actually, let's move them down there. Intercept these 300 or 230 guys. We might as well just beat them up totally. There we go. So we're getting various siege messages. I could try and raise this guy's troops, but it's never going to be enough to counter the army of the Duke of Albany. So there's not really much point. Just stop complaining, dude. Just, I'll send you to the dungeon and make you. I'll make you the guest of my chief torturer, Jar Jar Binks. I'm a baby. Oh god, you wouldn't even have to. He wouldn't have to be evil Jar Jar. He'd just have to be Jar Jar. Apparently, I've gained the chaste trait, which is good for, you know, I get a little bit of monthly piety out of that. But it has an impact on my fertility score, so that can be kind of annoying if you're trying to produce heirs. So we'll see. It's a bit of a crapshoot, because when you're selecting, you know, when you're trying to find somebody to marry, you basically don't have any clue. There's like a hidden, well, it's hidden normally. There's a fertility stat, and if you get two characters together that both have low fertility stats, then the chance that they're going to produce any kids at all is quite low. And you have no way of knowing. It's basically a crapshoot. But if you use some of the console commands, that gives you extra information in game, and you can also, if you're poking around inside the save files, you can also find character information that way. But ordinarily, you just have absolutely no way of knowing. Because I'm playing this without Chetass, although apparently Caption guy's playing it with Chetass. Damn you, Caption guy. Damn you. There's just no way of telling. So I don't know. That minus 15% might really screw me. We'll see. So we've really nearly won the first stage of this siege. And there we go. There's two more left to siege, but they will be easier. Castles are always the toughest targets to siege, but cities especially can end up having a lot of defenders, even if their actual fortification value isn't that high. and bishoprics tend to have the least of either. But that one's got a fairly decent number of defenders anyway. And as we can see, Blair Athol's about to go down, so that's good. So I'm winning at the moment reasonably comfortably. It did mean taking out a loan, but I'm not actually losing that much gold per month now. So I should be able to pay back that loan kind of sooner rather than later. I don't know what happens if you just like have it hanging there forever. I've never taken out a loan before. Does it have some kind of negative consequence, or does it just kind of tick up over time? I don't know. Or maybe it just gives you that negative modifier with all your church vassals up until the point where you then pay it off. The Chancellor of Orkney. Oh, he's trying to fabricate a claim on Ross, maybe? Not sure. Oh dear. Well, he's fabricated a claim on one of my provinces, whatever it is, but actually he would actually then have to declare war on me to take it. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, we're losing a bit of war score having lost this one siege, but as you can see, I've won most of my battles and I've gotten war score from actually sieging as well. King Yoda has gained the trait gluttonous. Oh, but this sometimes happens because my guardian, who I'm currently at war with, yeah, no, apparently that's absolutely fine in game terms. He is, I think because he's got the temperate trait. I don't know if he does actually. I don't know, but basically he got that character, the AI got an event, and whoa, decided that it was going to. Well, that's me not paying attention and talking too much. It decided that it was gonna, stamp out that. So, yeah, it kind of works on percentages. There was a chance it wouldn't work. There was a chance it would work. I think we'll actually, because we're in a defensive position and I've got reinforcements marching in. Yeah, we should win this. Yeah, there we go. That's all their flanks collapsed. Right, and we'll send my. Yeah, they're marching into Athol, so we'll keep my main army, or my levy army, sieging there. And oh, they're prepared to accept peace. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, he's in jail, so now he can't. So it's fine. We can be in a civil war, and he can be my guardian. But he can't be in jail and be my guardian because reasons. I don't know. Right, we'll stand those guys down. We'll put my retinue army back there. Now I've got a couple of choices as to what I can do with somebody that's in jail. I mean, we've got. Despite this, he actually still really likes me. So we may be merciful. I might actually. I could try taking Argyle off him. I don't know, because I can now have an extra holding, so I could try stripping one of his lands off him. We'll see. Does he have anything that's outside of his de jure? Yeah, Argyle. I've got Gowrie. If I took Argyle off him, he wouldn't then be able to like desire it back, as it were. So, yeah, since he's a traitor. So he'll not like me as much, but I will basically gain a province out of that. So I'll take that for now. Oh, right. Oh, I don't have enough crown authority, so I can't do that. I think probably because I've got minimum, and you need to have low crown authority at least. Yes. So, because I have minimal crown authority, I can't even do that. So I guess we'll just let him out of prison. I mean, you could execute him, which, everybody else thinks a bit less of you. You release him from prison, you get a small bump for the rest of your vassals, so I think we'll probably do that. We'll just release him. And we'll check that we don't have any other. Yeah, so that's squashed that faction for a while, but I do actually need to find myself a new guardian. And hopefully we can get somebody with decent stats. Actually, I'm just going to go back quickly and check. Intrigue maybe? Stewardship? I mean, my intrigue is absolutely abysmal right now. It's 0. I know I'm 12, but if I'm at the stage of being 12 and my intrigue is, you know, still 0, that is something we could work on potentially. So let's go back there. Who's got the best intrigue? You're not only looking for raw stats, though. You're also looking for character traits, and you're trying to find somebody with more positive traits than negative, because you will pick up some of your tutor's traits as well as their actual stats having an influence. So this guy's got pretty decent all-round stats. His learning's not so good, and his diplomacy's not so good. But you know, diligent and brave would be good to have, but envious, deceitful, and cynical maybe not so good. Although some of them, where they are kind of negative, but they can also have a positive modifier, like cynical gives you +2 to intrigue, even though it affects your monthly piety, and deceitful gives you, again, more intrigue, even though it affects your diplomacy score. So there's someone that's got, like, pretty good stats. In fact, that's my mother in-game. Charitable, fortune builder. Her best stat is stewardship, although her intrigue's not terrible. Well, we'll say her, actually. We'll get her as my tutor. But it can, when you're playing as a minor, the regent... no, it is actually... Oh no, I think they both can change, actually. The regent can change round. You just get a message saying, you know, due to goings on beyond your comprehension, and I think it can change for the Guardian as well, but I'm not actually sure about that. Maybe I'm just getting horribly confused. So yeah, well, that was a minor interesting moment, but no, we've come through that plain sailing. We're still Tanistry. I still retain control, so we'll go back. We'll go back to jumping ahead and maybe put a few more years on the clock. And if we get to 1096, we can actually launch an invasion of the Isle of Man. And I don't think he's really Connaught and Munster. Potentially Norway, actually. That could be interesting. We'll see. We'll see. I'll decide when I get to there. But yeah, 1096. I may be able to take the Isle of Man as well. So we'll see how that goes. And again, a not very short jump forward, but this message is kind of interest. Yes, the Duke of Lothian apparently is plotting to assassinate me, so we'll have to do something about that. I realised I had the Duke of Moray still in my my prison, so I've actually ransomed him, and that can be a profitable venture potentially if you've got somebody, you know. Somebody with a title or somebody related to somebody with a title, if they're a close family member, you can potentially ransom them for quite a lot of money. So I've actually ransomed him for 145 gold. So I'll actually be able to pay off the moneylenders right away, pretty much. I mean, I could hang on to the cash, but we might as well just pay it off. I'm also going to just release this lowborn guy, because he's... nobody... He has no family, effectively, within the game, so he is... not really important. So, known plots. We kind of want him to not kill me. And yes, we can just ask him to do that. There we go. I have a bunch of gold. And he is going to end his plot, which is good. This is why having a good spy master is particularly important, because you can uncover stuff like that before it happens. Because if I was assassinated now, that's it, game over. So let's just repay the loan. There we go. But I've still got 130 cash, so I've actually done fairly well out of that little civil war, all things considered. And we'll try another event. We'll try holding a feast. And this can end up giving you a nice buff with all your vassals, but it can potentially make some of them annoyed with you. Or not annoyed with you, but they just refuse to turn up, and you get you know, a negative relationship modifier. I will spend lavishly on food. Well, 19 gold. Yeah, I think we can afford that. Dancing troupe. I'll hire them. And a conjurer, so I'll hire them. I'm just spending all my money on this this ridiculous feast. It's unfortunately there aren't any events sort of Game of Thrones style where you can, or even I don't know. Well, actually, no. Probably is some particular period of some infamous event in history where it happened, where you just invite everyone round for a big dinner, and then actually didn't that happen with? Oh, I'm sure there was a bit of Scottish history like that. That somebody was invited round to somebody else's castle, and then it was just murderings everywhere. But yeah, unsurprisingly, Game of Thrones. You look at. I don't want to say stuff that's spoilers because obviously I've read the books ahead of where the TV series is. I'm actually rereading the books as well, but a lot of it's based on, or not based on. That's entirely the wrong word, but it's inspired by the kind of skullduggery and the goings on that happened during the Wars of the Roses. But even if you look at other bits of the European history and whatever, there's plenty of fodder for that kind of thing. So yeah, it's not hard to find inspiration when you're George R. R. Martin. You just have to open a history book and everyone's being horrible to each other. So this is yeah, you hold events like these, and I've got plus 25 opinion from somebody, which is quite nice. And what's my monthly balance? 11. So I've actually picked up some income from somewhere. Oh, there we go. I didn't get any negative modifiers, and I get a time limited diplomacy bonus and a plus 5 opinion with everybody. And potentially, oh, okay, this is a minus 10. For some reason, the events pop up in a very odd order. So even though the feast is over, minus 10 opinion. So I did get one negative character thing. But anyway, should we see if we can build something as well, just while we're going at comparatively slow speed? Let's have a look at the capital. I can upgrade my defences, levy size, tax income, fort level. We'll actually just pause because we can flick through the rest of them. I don't think there's anywhere else where I can actually A, afford to buy anything, or B, actually have the technology level to. Yeah, I mean, tax income's minimal, but the fort level's useful, and the levy size is also useful. Again, it's not huge, but you can see there, we're not making a bad amount of income, so well, actually, it's a big chunk of my present amount of cash, but no, we'll go with that. We're not struggling for income at the moment, particularly. Oh, money has been disappearing from the. This might set off a chain of events where you can either. Sometimes it'll be like you confront them and it turns out they're guilty, or it throws up some other kind of event where it's like, oh, the cook bought some extra eggs and didn't, write it down properly, or whatever. So, yeah, let's have a quick look through at the vassals. Is there anyone I particularly need to be worried about? No! I think that feast has helped out a bit because it's given everyone an opinion bump. And you do have to pay attention to things like this. And that's why in the EU games, the penalty for having a big country is usually, if you're expanding fast especially, you then have rebel problems, and potentially your neighbours will start declaring war on you if your reputation gets too bad. But the limiting factor in CK2 is more just trying to keep all your vassals happy and trying to stop civil wars happening, and sometimes, as you can see, it happens anyway and you really can't do anything about it. But no, everyone seems fairly happy right now, and you always have to be worried more about your counts and your dukes than anything else. So the Duke of Moray, actually, I wonder if I've got any honorary titles I can bestow on him, because that will make him a bit happier. Keeper of the Swans, Master of the Hunt. Yes, we'll give him the Seneschal. I think I've said that right. Position, because that gives him a 15-point boost, and it also gives him a tiny bit of income. So that's all right. And actually, you know what? Well, he was trying to kill me, actually. I was going to say we'll reward him for sticking with me in the Civil War, but no, actually he was plotting to kill me. He doesn't get any rewards. So, yes. Yeah, no, if it keeps happening. And he's both deceitful and cynical, so I can well believe that he would just be pinching my cash. I'll actually just check the council positions, because you never know when you might get somebody. That's another thing you have to look at fairly regularly, because you might have somebody that's got better stats in a particular area. Oh, he's my regent, so I can't change his. No, no one with a. Oh, actually, no, he's a. Well, I'll appoint him marshal. Who's that guy? Where did I pick him up from? I don't know. His martial skill's alright. His stewardship skill's actually pretty good as well. If I actually change, sometimes a bit of, like a cabinet shuffle. If we make him the marshal, we can then make Yehuda my steward. And that's alright. And I could have a much better chancellor, but it does mean resetting whatever progress. Mind you, I say progress, it is basically a yearly chance. It isn't like EU4 where you get a progress bar effectively when you're fabricating claims. It just is a, it's a yearly chance. Well, you know what, we'll go with it because he'll have a higher chance effectively. Train troops in the Western Isles. And I don't know, research economy tech, I guess. Yeah, okay. So there we go. We've had a bit of a cabinet shuffle. You don't want to do it too often though, because again, it's all about the positive and negative modifiers. People like being appointed to the council, but they don't like being kicked off the council. So even if you have somebody better, if it's one of your powerful dukes and you kick them off the council, that's going to give them like -20 opinion. So if they're already, if they already don't like you very much, there's a higher chance that they'll get just fed up and like revolt or whatever. Interesting. Okay. Apparently Jar Jar, my the chief torturer. I thought he could just be Jar Jar and that would be bad enough, but apparently. Although, a knife lay forgotten on the floor and I brought it with me, I just realised in the daylight why it felt so sticky. It's just strawberry jam, honestly. Jar Jar likes his strawberry jam. And apparently I've got the brave trait, which is quite a useful one. +2 martial, and it also has an effect if your character is actually leading troops, so morale defense. So that's a decent defensive bonus there. So my current traits are actually not too bad. Apart from chaste, I wish I didn't have chaste. Honest is actually alright, but it does mean I've still got 0 intrigue skill. So I'm going to need a good spy master because I am entirely relying on my spy master's skill. As you can see there, council's +18. That is, effectively the only intrigue skill I've got. I don't know why that message has come up. The Cardinal of Nice has given a seat in the College of Cardinals. Okay. I don't quite understand how the College of Cardinals things work in this. It's one of those kind of weird back-end things. Oh. Okay. She's just become regent because... Well, exactly like I was saying, the regent thing can just, you have no control over that effectively. But she's both regent and tutor, so, that could be alright. Did I... Oh, that's right, yeah, I married her off to somebody, didn't I? It must have been yeah, it's a matrilineal marriage, so that's why my half-sister is of my mother's dynasty rather than her father's. Bruno von Zabra, apparently. So anyway, we'll skip ahead again. There's nothing much happening right now. Castle walls built in Finlagen. We're fairly well raking in the money. It's looking fairly decent, but how's Caption guy? As ever, a worry. So yeah, let's skip ahead. So we are in 1095, just at the start of 1095, and King Yoda has hit the age of 16, so what we're going to do is we're going to find him a wife, and then I think I'll wrap up the video there because I've been recording nearly 3/4 of an hour, 50, almost getting on for 50 minutes here. Yeah, so Regency is completely over. He's become a bit of a do-gooder, which, given that his name is Yoda, is probably not surprising. He's picked up the Fortune Builder traits. That's the stewardship trait, which, as you can see, is some decent stats there. I've got +1 martial, -1 diplomacy, but that's, you know, my diplomacy trait's all right. Fairly crucially, the fertility is, you know, that could be really useful. That almost cancels out the chaste trait, so I've got -5% fertility. Obviously +6 stewardship. You know, that's going to really have a decent effect on how much I can earn as well, because my income's, it's all right. I'm actually over 300 gold now, and I'm going to hang on to I'm going to build up a bit more of a buffer, and then there are some improvements that, you know, some of the more expensive ones, 281 gold, that can be built in a couple of places, but I'm probably going to build them in the Western Isles, because as you can see, I'm getting not the most tax, but I've got the most troops there, so I'm thinking of either building a castle town, which would give me +2 tax income, or training grounds, which would give me increased morale, a bigger retinue size, and my reinforcement would go up as well. So, yes, arranging a marriage. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. If you just want to look within your own court, you would go to the diplomacy screen, arrange marriage, and you pick yourself, and then basically it shows you all of the eligible women from within your own court. And they're more likely to have the culture group you're looking for, but obviously, you know, that's a much more limited selection. So she decides to get married. Her stats are not terrible, but, you know, she's a lowborn. I get -300 prestige for that. We can do better. I'm looking for a... Marriages are complicated, and it's... I clicked on the wrong thing again. There we go. Arranged marriage. Marriages are complicated because you're not only... You're looking for somebody that can give you heirs, but you're also looking for alliances. You're looking maybe to set up inheritances. You are trying to get somebody with decent stats. You're trying to... It's complicated. You're trying to balance a lot of factors at once. Like, for instance, I could potentially set up inheriting one of the Welsh counties, but she is 1 year old, and I would have to wait 15 years, and that would be 15 years of utter peril, because I would have absolutely no dynastic heirs whatsoever. So we're going to have to look for somebody who is about to become old enough, or is actually old enough. It would be nice to get I mean, for instance, with there's another one that's in Ireland. That's pretty close by. Somewhere, you know, if it's going to be a countess or a duchess, somebody that's within the relative geographic area would be useful. If it's somebody over in, say, Greece, that's no good, because how am I going to get over there to defend that? You know, that's like, yeah. So, potentially a princess of the Byzantine Empire, which would be extremely prestigious. She's only 8, however. Again, I'd have to wait. One of my own vassals, Countess of Athol, who is a vassal of the Duke of Albany. So potentially I could take that county away from him through inheritance. And she is actually only 13, so I'd only be waiting 3 years. Her stats aren't great, though. Well, they're not bad, but yeah, stewardship of 0. It kind of counteracts my own sort of relatively decent stewardship. But I can't claim Yoda's stats are especially brilliant. 11, 11, 12 is pretty respectable, but then 0, 3, yeah. And some of these are from my traits. So this is, you know, why traits are very, very useful, and trying to cultivate good traits is useful, because it gives you... Sometimes, you know, the individual bonuses might not be much, but they can add up to be quite a lot. So, yeah. I don't know, the princess would be nice, but she's only 8. I'd have to wait a while. Now, this is somebody... she has a bunch of not great traits, but her stats are decent apart from her martial skill. But, as you can see, as a countess... not as a countess, as a county courtier, again it's minus 300, so it's effectively the same as marrying a lowborn. So, I don't know, this could be tricky. Princess of Nubia, Princess of Georgia. I mean, age matters as well. Someone, I mean, like for instance, this lass here, Princess of Nubia, who's 24. You know, that's kind of the outside edge, because whereas, you know, as in actuality, you can be a father into, you know, reasonably late into your life. The fertility period in game, anyway, of female characters is once you get over 30, it drops off fairly drastically. So you're looking for somebody who is, you know, 16 is ideal, but if it's she. Princess of Aragon, I could potentially have a... I don't know, Sweden might be really useful. I might end up with... I mean, if I end up in a war with Norway, having some Swedish allies, you know, that could be pretty damn useful. So, look at her stats there. 7, 6, 14's good. She's possessed. So that might be a problem. Content, craven, honest, kind. Oh, I don't know. I mean, the alliance would be really useful, but she's possessed. So, I don't know. We'll go for it. I think the alliance outweighs the potential pitfalls of marrying a possessed character. So there we go. Queen... oh wait, I'm looking at the Swedish king. I was thinking, huh, that doesn't look like Yoda, you've changed. But no, I was looking at her parents. So, we have married, and they have said yes, and I'm now allied with the King of Sweden, which is very, very useful for as long as he's alive anyway. How old is he? 45, okay, now we might potentially have like 10, 15 years, maybe more, of alliance with Sweden, so that could be useful. I can collect 69 gold, or I can get 200 prestige, and my prestige count's looking reasonably healthy. I think we'll go with the cash, actually, which is potentially, you know, a very Scottish thing to have done, but no, I think that'll be the useful thing. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to invest in the castle town, I've decided, and that leaves me with 140 gold, and we're going to wrap up the video there because we are getting towards an hour quite rapidly at this point. So okay, well, this will be a thing for next video, because I have minimal crown authority, my vassals are quite happy to make their own claims, so the Duke of Albany is going after the County of Ulster after I've been trying to claim it for so long. Well, okay then, but never mind, that's a thing for next episode. We're going to wrap this up here. So, any comments, anything, suggestions, things I've done wrong, whatever, you can point those out below. You can hit the like button, you can subscribe to my channel, you can go check out my CK2 playlist to see the previous videos in the series, and as always, stay tuned for more.